Peace to the YouTube family. It's your boy Ray Imperial, back with another edition or another page from the Imperial Diaries. We'll call this Throwback Thursday Thanksgiving edition, and we'll call this one Move the Chains. Um, so, before I begin, I'd like to address a couple of comments that I noticed uh, on the page over the last, on the channel over the last week or so. And I seem to run into the word bitch quite a bit in the comments. Uh, and to that, all I'm gonna say is, your mother don't work here, so don't call here looking for her. Other than that, if you can keep your comments respectful, you won't hear my OG slick mouth. Moving right along. So, one of the staples in the upkeep of the American Pit Bull Terrier is the toe chain, right? And it's predominantly used to tether the dog. It has a wonderful side effect of also keeping the dog in a fit physical condition. Uh, Typically, uh, toe chain will run in gauges which command 2 to 3 pounds per foot. And on a 10-foot chain, you're talking about an additional 30 pounds. And so a dog that lives on the chain literally lives dragging around 30 to 35 pounds in addition to its body weight, which may only be 35 to 45 pounds depending upon the dog. Um, so you can see why a lot of times when you look at dogs on the chain in some of the yard videos, you see these dogs are extremely, extremely fit. Well, personally, I love the toe chain for its conditioning properties. Um, so that's how I personally use the toe chain. Um, if I need to tether the dogs on the yard, then we can certainly use it for that purpose as well. But I like to get 10-foot chain, and while I attach it to the dog, I don't tether it. I like to use that as drag work. And the predominant two ways in which I do use toe chain is as a neck collar and in drag work. Um, with the neck collars, typically 1 to 2 foot lengths, uh, and then with the drag work in 6 and 10 foot lengths. So what you'll see in the video coming up is a little bit about how I actually do that. Some of the ways in which I actually use toe chain to condition my dogs, and some of the ways in which we use that toe chain to grit test the dogs, right? And some of the results thereof. So with that said, I'm gonna let y'all get into this video. Enjoy. All right, so here we see Penny Ma, and this is her on day one of training. In this video, she was about, or in this shot, she was about a year old. That had to be April or May of 2017. So here we see as she's progressed, um, she's working with the chain as a weight collar, and we worked her up to this point, of course. She was always very athletic. You can see she damn near got up in the tree on her own there. The chain did not inhibit her in any real way. In fact, it only made her more of a beast once the chain came off. And that's a consistent theme in using the chain that you'll see. The dog becomes lighter, quicker, more powerful. You see her using the chain in the drag work. In this particular instance, you can see how the chain is working the dog from damn near from head to toe, all the way from shoulders and neck, going all the way back to her rear, into the core, into the stifle. Very, very, very useful in that sense. And you see, it doesn't really inhibit the dog's movement, right? But it does slow the dog down just enough to keep the dog from running off crazy, right? It has to be something really attention catching for the dog to just go and dart after it. Now, she was able to go for hours, literally. This is just a short clip. This is light, very light day. Usually we attach a weight to the rear of that. And here you just see results, man. Pure bulldog shit. And if you compare this to that first shot of her on training day one, obviously completely different dog, right? You see her here cut up like she was part of a hibachi meal. Like, this girl is really looking phenomenal here. And this is all chain work. When I was doing this with Penny, I didn't have really the means to do a whole lot. I didn't have a yard at the time. This was all just, chain work, road work, chain work, road work. I mean, just really phenomenal. It's really phenomenal. The results speak for themselves, you know? Now, when we got Bull, when we brought Bull, the first thing we did was take him off the kibble, put him on a raw diet, and really strip the extra bulk off of him. Because at the time, he wasn't good about leaving his feet. He just really wouldn't jump, he wouldn't leap. And that's definitely an attribute that I want in my dogs. I want the dog comfortable leaving his feet. I want the dog comfortable being athletic. So that was one of the first things we did. Is we started getting them, more into agility exercises, stripped that weight off of them, took the kibble out the equation. And once we had him nice and firm and where we kind of wanted him, nice and lean, that's when we came in and we brought in the weight collar. So again, this video recorded summer 2018. I don't want you to think that anything happens overnight. Everything is a process. And so we gradually eased him into this. This is his very first session wearing chain as a weight collar. I wanted to see how much the chain would bother him or slow him down. Obviously, chain didn't bother him at all. He was able to jump, leave his feet, the whole 9 yards. So we knew he was at a level where he could handle that chain. Now here we see him on the 10-foot chain, and what happens when we take him off the chain? 75-pound dog, man, and he looks like he's damn near doing a backflip in the air here. That chain has the effect of really making the dog more powerful, lighter, faster. Here we see ultimate results, man. We see him peaked out going into the winter of 2018. Penny's litter was pretty much either on the ground or about to hit the ground, and the boy was just looking absolutely phenomenal. Cuts everywhere. You can see that we literally created muscle on this dog. This was not what he looked like when we first brought him in. And then you have Star, right? Star on her first spring pole session. Again, you see she is not really leaving her feet. Right? She has no shape, no structure. I swear when I first saw Star, I did not want this dog. I almost didn't take her. Um, you know, long story short, I ended up buying in. and I brought the dog home, and this is what I brought home. This right here was February of 2018, right? Well, I'll say maybe February, March 2018. And, you know, if she'd ever been on a spring pole before this, it was kind of hard to tell, you know. It was just like I really wanted to see what she would do by herself, and she wasn't very she didn't just go to it. Now, over time, and this is I would say this is going into maybe late summer of 2018. We have Star rocking Bull's weight collar, right? And being grit tested. And this is what I mean by grit testing a dog. I will throw uh, what would seem to be an extraordinary amount of weight on the dog to see whether or not the dog still works with its same vigor, its same enthusiasm, its same drive. And as you can see here, Star is acting like she ain't got no weight collar on. She's much higher off the ground than the first video we saw her when she first touched the spring pole. Um, and she's using more vigor. She's pulling with more force and power. Her mouth is wide open. She's got a much better grip. She's got the whole knot in her mouth, not just a few strands. So we see a totally transformed dog. Totally transformed dog. So this is a shout out to all my detractors who like to say I don't know what I'm doing with these dogs. That Star looking real good, looking real good. And we're not finished with Star. You know, um, when it gets right down to it, this is Star, no chain, right? This is just Star after the chain work. This is just her development. How much different is that than her first motherfucking video hanging on to a motherfucking spring pole? Just look at the build. Look at the structure on her. Look at the hourglass here, right? This she's looking so sexy right here. It's ridiculous. Chest and shoulders to die for, right? A waist that's not even 2 paws wide put together. Look at this girl. Look at this girl. Now I had to hit you with the slow zoom on this one. She is completely off the ground. The chain has got to be at least 30 pounds, and that she's tethered to, and the weight collar has got to be at least another 7 or 8. And she's completely off the ground doing her thing, man, like that chain didn't exist. So here's another example of a dog being grit tested using the chain. These are the pups at 6 months old off of Henny's first litter. We brought them out to a nice rapid stream, and let them get a feel for what it is to do some work under some adverse conditions. And as you can see, again, the chain didn't bother these dogs at all. Rough, rugged dogs. That's what we have. Dogs that can do some serious catch work. So the puppies definitely get turned on right around 6 months. Here you see an example of some work we've been doing with Raina recently. And I do apologize. I know I haven't posted videos lately, but it's not like we ain't working. We still working. We still working. Ain't nothing changed. Um, but yeah, pups at 6 months, pups start getting that work. Now, of course, we don't go crazy with it. It's not an everyday or even an every other day thing with them. Uh, we just like to use it every now and then to grit test and gauge the pups' drive and tenacity, and see just what a pup will work through. Rain is very exceptional in that she shows drive that grown dogs don't show right now. So her structure and everything, like Rain is fantastic. Rain is amazing. But this is what we do at Imperial Flame Kennels. I ain't gonna, beat a dead horse, a little bit on how we move the chains. Um, with that said, move the chains is the NFL term that denotes progress, right? So, it's been Imperial Flame Kennels. Y'all keep the heat.